Welcome to my YouTube channel. Now this is A Square Maths Made Easy Academy. In my last video, part 6, I stopped at question number 24, but I did not solve 24. So that is why I lifted 24 today. So we are going to continue with part 7 of calculation in calculus. Now, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please do well to subscribe. If you have not commented, please comment and watch from the beginning to the end. I advise you go and watch part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, part 5, part 6 of my calculation in calculus. So we are going to take it one after the other. So can you watch now? Now let's go. Look at the first question. The question says, find the area bounded by integral of x minus 1 raised to the power of 4 dx. Upper limit is 1 and lower limit is 0. Now what am I trying to relate to here? Anytime you hear the word area talks about definite integration. What does it imply? Integration is divided into two, definite and indefinite. Now the definite integral is the one that is bounded, upper limit and lower limit. Now anytime you are looking for the area and they did not specify the integral symbol, note that you are dealing with integration, definite integration. Now let us use shortcut to solve this formula question first. The question says integral of x minus 1 raised to the power of 4 dx bounded by 1 and 0. I want to use shortcut. Now the question is, first of all, I will differentiate the 1 inside the bracket. After differentiating, if x vanishes, it means that it can go by substitution method. But if x still remains after differentiating the 1 inside the bracket, which means it did not. Now let's try it. If you differentiate x minus 1, now let's go. Differentiate x is 1. Hope you are aware of that. Then this is minus 1, throw it away. So which means I will introduce all over. If you differentiate x, it will give you 1. Then minus 1 is a constant, throw it away. So can you see that the answer is already there? So what do? I will now introduce x minus 1. Are you with me? Then raised to the power of 4, add the power by 1. The reason is because integration is addition. Then divided by the denominator. What's the denominator? 1. Open the bracket. And what do you do next? Introduce the power down to the denominator. It will give you 4 plus 1. Close the bracket. Finally, I will now say bounded by 1 and 0. This is what we call shortcut method. If I continue now, I'll be having x minus 1. Then 4 plus 1 is 5 over 4 plus 1 is 5 times this 1 will still give you 5. Bounded by upper limit, which is 1, lower limit, which is 0. What is the next target? You take the difference between upper limit and lower limit. Now x to upper limit is 1 and x to lower limit is 0. Can we substitute? Let's start with the upper limit. X is 1. I will say bracket 1 minus 1. Close the bracket. Raised to the power of 5 all over 5. The word different means minus. Then open the bracket. And now consider x to the lower limit. What is x to the lower limit? 0. So here becomes 0 minus 1. Close the bracket. Then raised to the power of 5. Then all over 5. Now can you see that the answer is visible already? Are you with me now? The answer is visible already. Now if the answer is visible already, I want you to understand something here. Watch. Are you with me now? The answer is visible already. So I want you to understand something here. So what do? Watch. It will now give us equal to 1 minus 1 is 0, right? And 0 raised to the power of 5 is 0. And 0 over 5 will give you 0. Then I have here minus. Then 0 minus 1 is minus 1. Then minus 1 raised to the power of 5 will give you minus 1. I will introduce here minus 1, then all over 5. Can you now see that minus will give you plus? Then 0 plus 1 over 5 is 1 over 5. Then the unit of area is squared. Squared unit. And that is the final answer using shortcut. Let's observe in the option. The first option says minus 1 over 4. No. Second one is minus 1 over 5. Wow. The correct answer is option B. Now this is how to solve it using what we call shortcut. Shortcut. But can we now approach it using the normal method? What do we mean by the normal method? Look up. It is called integration by substitution what method. So we are going to use integration by substitution what method. Why is this substitution method? It is because by the time we differentiate x minus 1, x will disappear. So how do we differentiate it? You call this bracket 1 as u. We now say let what? U be equal to x minus 1. Can we differentiate u? It implies that u is the u over what? The x. Then equal to. Differentiate x, what is the answer? 1. Minus 1 is a constant, throw it what? Away. Then call this over 1 and try to make the x subject of the formula. I will now say the x times 1 will give me the x. Then equal to the u times 1 will give me what? The u. After you may have made the x subject of the formula, you now go back to the question. Now this is integral. Remember that this is 0, right? This is integral x minus 1. What is it? U. Then raised to the power of 4. Are you with me? I take it again. X minus 1. What is it? U. Raised to the power of what? 4. Do we know the x? What is the x? The x is what? Du. Bounded by upper limit 1, lower limit is what? 0. So what do you think that we'll do? Integrate u raised to the power of 4. So which means I'll collect u raised to the power of 4 and add plus 1 to the what? Power. Then as you've done that, then this power will now go down to the denominator to give us 4 plus 1 as well. Then after that, the u will disappear. The integral symbol will disappear. So what remains now is bounded by 1 and what? 0. My question is, do we know u? U is already given. U is x minus what? 1. I will now substitute and have x minus 1 in bracket. 4 plus 1 will give you 5, right? Then all over. 4 plus 1 will only give you 5. Then bounded by 1 and what? 0. Finally, you now take the difference between upper limit and lower limit. Now x to upper limit is 1. And x to lower limit is what? 0. Can we substitute now? Let's start with upper limit. X is 1. I will now say 1 minus 1 raised to the power of what? 5. Then all over what? 5. Then the difference means what? Minus. I will now go x to the denominator. X is what? 0 minus 1 raised to the power of 5 all over what? 5. Oh yeah, watch. I will now say 1 minus 1 is what? 0. 0 to power 5 is 0. And 0 over 5 will give you 0. Minus. Here is 0 minus 1, which is minus 1. Raised to the power of 5 will give you minus 1 over what? 5. Then watch. Minus minus is what? Plus. It becomes 0 plus 1 over 5 will give us 1 over 5 square what? Unit. Now this is how to solve it. For those that are writing word theorem, do you understand? Can you see the shortcut equally give us the same with that of the substitution word method? That is all about the area bounded by the curve is what? 1 over 5. Do you understand? Okay, can we move to question number 25? Number 25 said, if y is x sine x, find dy dx when x is rad over what? 2. This thing is in degree. The word rad means 180 over 2. And you know that 180 over 2 is 90 degrees. So which means x here is 90. Can we solve it now? We are watch. Question number 25. Question number what? 25. Now what is question number 25 talking about? Watch. We are asked to differentiate y then equal to x sine what? X. Are you with me now? Now, I want to use shortcuts also to differentiate it. First of all, this thing is by product 2. Do you know why? X is multiplying what? Sine x. Under product, the first one is u. The second one is what? V. So I want to differentiate all of them with respect to the x. We have to start with y. It will give you the y all over what? The x. What is the step now? Look up. You should put u constant. What is u? X. Close the bracket. And differentiate v. If you differentiate sine x, it will give you cos what? X. Product goes with addition. Are you with me? The next thing is to put v constant. What is v? V is sine what? X. Do you understand? And you differentiate what? U, which is x. It will give you 1. So if you watch it now, you agree with me that everything is balanced. But you should know that the value of x is given as rad all over what? 2. Can we substitute now? So that will now give us x is rad over what? 2. Then I have cos. I have seen x again. It is rad all over 2. Close the what? Bracket. Then plus sine x times 1 is sine x. Are you aware? Then I will have with me sine. I have seen x. What is x? Rad all over what? 2. Now be careful. Now what do? This rad I said is 180. And 180 over 2 will give you 90. So if you punch cos 90, it is 0. So I will have here as, here is 0 already. Now 0 times rad over 2 is already what? 0. Then plus, are you with me? Then sine pi over 2 is always what? 1. Can you see that now 0 plus 1 will give you 1? So the correct answer is what? 1. Do you have 1 in the option? No, it cannot be this. It cannot be this. Wow, the answer is option what? Option what? C. Are you with me? This is called short cut. Then, having dissolved this shortcut, can we now observe the general word formula? Now let's watch. Already, we know that this thing is differentiation by what? Product rule. So we apply what we call differentiation by product rule. I'm doing this for those that are writing what? Theory. Now, what is the formula? If you are given y to be equal to uv, my target is to differentiate everything with respect to what? X. Then differentiate y. It will give you dy over what? Dx. Then equal to. Now, the first thing is to consider u constant and differentiate v. It will give you dv all over what? Dx. Product goes with what? Addition. Then next is to put v constant and differentiate u. You have the u all over what? Dx. Can we now go ahead? Now let's start by saying let u be, what is u? U is x. Are you with me? If you say let u be x, so let's differentiate u and x. If you differentiate u, it will give you du all over what? Dx. Then equal to. Differentiate x. What is x? 1. I've told you already. The next is let what? V be equal to what? Sine x. Now I want to differentiate v and sine x. V with respect to x is the v over what? The x. Then equal to. Differentiate sine x. It will give you cos what? X. Now what do you think that will happen? The next thing is to go back to the formula. We have dy all over the x, right? Then equal to. What is here? Here is u. Do we know u? U is x. Close the bracket. Now next is dv dx. Look at it. Dv dx is cos what? X. I'll put cos x. Followed by what? Plus. Now the next thing is v. Do we know v? V is already good. Look at v. V is what? Sine what? X. In bracket. Then followed by what? Du dx. And what is it? 1. Can you see that it has given us exactly that one we solved using the normal what? Method. I would have stopped here, but they have given us the value of what? X. So which means x is rad all over 2, right? We have cos. X is rad all over 2. Close the what? Bracket. Plus sine. You know, sine x times 1 is sine what? X. Then x is what? Rad all over 2 as well. Are you with me? Now let's go. Do you know that cos rad is 180, just like I said? 180 over 2 is what? 90. What is cos 90? 0. And 0 times everything here is already what? 0. Then I will add. The next thing is what? This is 180 over 2 is what? 90. Now, what do? So I will now say sine 90. Sine 90 is 1. And if I can imagine if I add 0 plus 1, it will give me 1. And that is the final answer. Can you see it as correspond using the normal what? Method? Do you understand? Now, let us move to question number 26. Oh, yeah. Number what? 26. Wow. Hope you are following. Question number 26. Now, what is number 26? Look up. Number 26 says the maximum value of y, please underline y, in the equation y equal to 1 minus 2x minus 3x. They say we should find the maximum value of this equation. Look at the option there. Anytime you hear the word maximum and minimum, it's talking about application of differentiation. Now, I want you to understand question number 26. Are you with me? We are given that y is 1 minus 2 what? X minus 3x squared minus what? 3 what? X squared. Now, the condition for a maximum function to occur, listen, anytime you are looking for maximum, the secret is that the second order derivative, this is called second order, the square y over the x squared is always less than 0. We say they are maximizing. But if you are looking for what? Minimum. It means that the second order derivative, the square y over the x squared, is greater than what? 0. Sometimes in exam, they will say, under what condition is a function said to be what? Maximizing. It is when the second order derivative is less than 0. If it is minimizing, when the second order derivative is greater than what? 0. Here is squared. Are you with me? Now what do we do? I want to teach you now the step. Alright. So watch. We first of all differentiate y with respect to x. It will give me the y all over what? Dx. Oh yeah, watch. Differentiate 1 is a constant, throw it away. Next is to differentiate minus 2x. The answer is minus 2. How? I have with me minus 2x, invisible what? 1. Can I say 1 times minus 2 by differentiation? It will give me minus 2 what? X. Raised to the power of 1. The law says introduce minus 1 to the power. Then we simplify to have minus 2x. 1 minus 1 is 0. So which means anything raised to power 0 is 1. 1 times minus 2 will give us minus 2. So the next thing we have to differentiate is minus 3 what? X. Now what do? Use the power to multiply. 2 times minus 3 will give me minus 6x, right? Then subtract the power by 1. It will give me 1. So which means if we differentiate minus 3x, the result is minus. If we differentiate minus 3x squared, the result is minus what? 6 what? X. Do you understand? That is the first thing. Then after that, there is what we call turning point. At what? Turning point. What happened? Dy dx is always equal to what? 0. Now, anytime you hear the word turning point and they ask you what is a turning point, it is that point where the first order derivative or dy dx is what? 0. So which means anywhere we see dy dx, put what? 0. Can we do that? This is now 0, right? Then equal to, I have with me minus 2 minus 6 what? X. Collection of like terms. Take minus 6x this way, it will give you 6 what? X. Then equal to minus what? 2. Can I make x subject of the formula? Yes. Divide by 6, divide by 6. So 6 will cancel 6. Oh my goodness. This is minus, right? 2 divided itself is 1. And 2 going to 6 will give you 3. Now, do you know that x is already minus 1 over 3? Am I communicating now? But what I want you to understand is this. For us to justify whether it is maximum, we have to differentiate this for second term. But we already know that it is x to the minus 1 over 3 that makes this function to what? To maximize. Are you with me? Now, let's go. If you differentiate dy dx, it will give you the square y. What did I say? It will give you what? The square y all over the x squared. Are you with me now? Then it's now equal to, this is a constant, throw it away. Differentiate minus 6x, it will give you minus 6. Can you see that the second order derivative is less than 0? So which means it is what? Maximum. It is what? Maximum. Under maximum when x is what? Minus 1 over 3. But what they ask us is why mean? Why what? Max. I mean to say. So what do? Go back to the equation. Anywhere you encounter x, remove it and put minus 1 over 3. Are you with me? Can we have 1, right? Minus 2 bracket. I have seen x. What is x? Minus 1 over 3. Close the bracket. Then here is minus 3. Open the bracket. I have seen x. What is it? Minus 1 over 3. Then all squared. Are you there now? Can we simplify? This is now 1. Minus 2 times minus 1 should give us plus 2. Then over what? 3. Now you know if you square this, it will give you 1. 3 squared will give you what? 9. It becomes minus. Are you with me now? 3 times 1 is 3, right? Then all over 9. All over what? 9. Are you with me now? So what do you think that will happen? Take the LCM. What is the LCM? 9. This is over what? 1. 9 over 1 will give you 9. 9 times 1 is what? 9. Then I will add. 9 over 3 will give you what? 3. 3 times 2 will give you what? 6. Then minus. 9 over 9 is what? 1. And 1 times 3 will give us what? 3. Are you with me? Can we now dissolve? Now, I will now say this. Watch. 9 plus 6. What is the answer? 9 plus 6 will give you 15, right? Then 15 minus 3 will give us what? 12. All over what? 9. Can anything break 12 and 9? Yes. What is that? 3. 3 here is 4. And 3 here is what? 3. That is the answer. So let's observe. The maximum value of y is 4 over 3. What is the answer? Option A, 5 over 3. No. Option B, wow, 4 over 3. The correct answer is option what? B. Are you with me now? Then let's move to question number 27. Question what? Number 27. I want you to watch. Number 27. Question number 27. Question number 27. Now watch. The question says, find the value of x for which the function 3x cubed minus 9x squared is minimum. Is what? Minimum. We are looking for minimum now. Now I want you to observe something here. Watch. Number 27. We are given that y is, look up, we have 3x raised to the power of 3 minus 9x raised to the power of 2. Remember, we are looking for minimum now. What is the condition for minimum? Is that the second order derivative must always be greater than what? 0. Am I communicating now? So can we differentiate first? We now say dy all over dx is now equal to, oh yeah, watch, 3 times 3 will give us what? 3 times 3 will give us what? 9x. 3 minus 1 is 2. Are you there? Then minus 2 times 9 will give us what? 18x raised to power 2 minus 1, which is this. So what is the next thing? At what? Turning point. What did I say? At turning point, dy all over dx is what? 0. Can we substitute? The whole of this is 0, right? Then equal to 9x squared minus 18 what? X. What is our target? Factorize. What is common? 9 can divide. 9 can divide. I will factor 9. X, I'll pick 1. Open the bracket. Are you with me now? So what do? Let's divide. 9x squared all over 9x. Watch. Can you see that 9 will cancel 9? 1x will cancel 1. What will remain there is what? X minus. The next one is 18x all over 9x. 9 will cancel 9. Can 9 go into 18? Yes, 2. Are you with me? So it is not yet over. Are you with me? So what we are going to do now is to know among the two values of x, which one is minimum and which one is what? Maximum. Oh yeah, watch. I will now say 9x, this very one, should be equal to what? 0. Or x minus 2 should be equal to what? 0. Make x subject. Divide this by 9. Divide this by 9. Y collection of like terms, x here is 2, right? Finally, 9 will cancel 9. So the value of x is 2, or here the value of x is 0, and here the value of x is 2. Now what do? Differentiate this for the second time to verify any of these that makes the function what? Minimum. Are you with me? Here we go. If I differentiate dy dx, I'll have the square 1 all over the x1 squared. Are you with me? Then we now have equal to, we are differentiate. 9 times 2 will give us 18x raised to power 2 minus 1, which is 18, which is x minus. Differentiate what is equal 18x, it will give us just 18. Now remember, when x is 0, if you put it here 0, 0 times 18 is what? 0. Minus it will give you negative, which is less than it can be. But this one now can give you greater than what? 0. When x is what? 2. Can you see that now? I'm not looking for what? Y. But they say find the value of x. What makes it minimum is when x is equal to 2. So which means that is the final answer. What do you have here? Option A is 3. Option B is 5. Option C is what? 0. Option D is 2. Wow, the correct answer is option what? D. Now, I have another one to try. Which is question number, I stop at 27. Watch, question number 28. Okay, let me solve that one with you. Number what? 28. Question number 28. Now look at the question. Number 20 what? 8. I want you to watch. Question number 28. Now the question says, number 28, watch. Given what? A function. Are you with me? Given a function, what? F such that domain of F is a subset defined in real number, map Y. And Y is a subset defined in real number, full stop. Are you with me now? Now the question says, a function, a what? Function for any, for what? Any value of X. For any value of what? F, are you with me? For any value of small y is a member of big Y, there exists, comma, are you with me now? X is a member of domain of what? F, such that f of x is equal to y is called dash function. It's called dash word function. Option A says 0. Option B says constant. Then option C says onto. Are you with me? Onto. Then finally option D says 1-to-1 function. Now look up. I take it again. Given a function f of domain of f is a subset defined in real number, map y, and y is a subset defined in real number, full stop. A function of what? Any value of small y is a member of big Y, and there exists that x is a member of domain of f such that f of x is equal to y is called a dash function. Please, the correct answer is option C, which is onto. In my main video, when I'll be doing the lesson proper, I'll explain all this. These are various functions that you need to know. But when you hear this mathematical analysis or expression, it is called onto. Another name for onto function, look up, is called surjetive. It's called what? Surjetive word question. Function. Now, this is the end of my video today. So thank you, viewers. See you next time. Bye.